2 of the FIFA World Cup 2022 has been completed, and we will now bring you all the results and previews for tomorrow. I'm your host, Earl Basin. Joining me is co-host Fully. Fully, we had a full day. We had 3 matches played today, a total of 12 goals scored. First match up this morning was England defeating Iran 6-2. And then midday saw the Netherlands get 2 late goals to defeat Senegal 2-0. And then the final match of the day saw USA and Wales play to a 1-1 draw. But first, let's get to the first match of the day, that England-Iran match. We said, in order for England to stamp their authority, they're going to have to score early and often, and then kind of pace the match from there. They did score early. They did score often. Your thoughts on the overall result of this particular match?
I thought that match went pretty much how it was supposed to go. As we stated last night, not only early, but we felt that England would have to score the early chances. It didn't matter when the chances came. They had to take them. They did come early. They took them. The game was over at halftime. Unfortunate that the Iranian goalkeeper was an early casualty for them, unfortunately. Not sure he would have made a great difference, but England actually looked like they played with some freedom. Iran wasn't too interested in attacking, which was kind of disappointing. You do understand in these tournaments that some teams just can't go out and go all guns blazing because they'll get turned over really quickly. We'll talk about that later when we preview tomorrow's games. But Iran didn't look like they were trying to attack from the beginning. So once the first goal went in, the second one followed pretty quickly. The third one after that. And like I said, it was pretty much over at halftime. I was glad to see that Gareth used his bench and gave everybody a chance. I think it was actually 6-2. Got 6-1 up there, but they got a late penalty.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they got it. They did get a late one just before the game ended. Yeah, to make it 6-2. Yeah. But as we said last night, with a team like Iran, and we talked about other teams as well. What your main goal is? Don't get blown away. Don't try to be as technical as possible, so a team doesn't run up a score line on you, just so you have some credibility the next time if you ever get back there, you know what I mean? So for England, they have a good start. 6 goals, they gave up 2. But, they'll have to be sharper as the tournament goes on, because as you go further, games get harder.
And one worrying part for England is that they conceded 2 goals. The first, everybody was expecting it, and he delivered. Harry Maguire, unfortunately, that could be a worry for England. The penalty was a little dubious. We must be honest. If it was not 6-1, that might be more of a talking point. But they made it 6-2.
Sure,
the game was over.
Yeah. For the English, good start.
Yes,
then
sir.
Came that midday one, the one that you've been waiting for some time, and you had to wait for some time for the game's first goal because the way Senegal played with a lot of discipline. I mean, both teams created chances, but they played with a lot of discipline, and it took until that 84th minute. At halftime, 0-0. What was one of the things that concerned you the most about the Netherlands?
The biggest thing I thought was we had 2 chances. We probably should have been 2-0 up. If we're completely honest, one, I think Gakpo rolled it across the 6-yard box and nobody got a chance. And the other one probably should have shot. But I thought we were playing a little too reserved, a little too both teams seemed like they were cagey, and the Netherlands weren't I just want to say they were playing too slow. They weren't firing on all cylinders. In the first half, Senegal really didn't trouble them. They were also playing a little too arrogantly. I don't know if you saw the at one point
I,
Frankie De Jong was forced back all the way to his goal line and just turned and tried to make a casual pass to Van Dijk, who wasn't paying attention, and Senegal got a chance on top of the 18.
yep,
Yeah, that was what it was. It was a little cagey with a touch of that arrogance, but not necessarily. The tempo wasn't fast enough.
yeah, definitely. I mean, and that first goal, I mean, you know, a cross comes in. I'm not sure if he meant to head it that way, but it went in.
Yeah, well, before the first goal, I wanted full credit to Senegal. I had a lot of people hitting me up saying, you know, Holland got lucky, Holland got lucky. I don't know if it was luck, but Senegal definitely controlled the first 35 minutes of or 30 minutes of the second half.
Yeah,
They took the middle away very well. Missing Mane, I think if they had Mane, they might have scored. I just don't think. I think the gap between his level and what they have now, unfortunately, is just a little too much.
yeah,
But yeah, that goal, I mean, what a ball from Frankie. And if you watch
sure.
the run, Gakpo, you know, he weaves in and out, he goes up. Like you said, the header wasn't how you would technically draw it up, but it went in.
Yeah, yeah,
And Mendy left a lot to be desired. Yeah, I don't think he bathed himself in any glory on there because
right.
he came out almost like he didn't think anybody was going to challenge him.
Yeah, 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 yeah. If you look at it, I mean, you talked about money not being in the team. So a lot of defenders will now look at the Senegal front players as casual players, not as a threat. You know what I mean? You'll still respect them, but the level of paying attention to their every detail, because they're not money, you tend to kind of drop your shoulders just a little bit. And if Senegal would have been able to put one of those chances away, you'd have seen just a touch of panic around the Netherlands defender because now, hey, we have to really pay attention. And to hit a switch like that, it's not as easy as people think it is.
I don't know if Senegal will set up the same way in future matches. I think there was a lot of respect played to the Dutch. Interested to see if they do switch it up for future games.
Right.
So that's one thing. They still have the boy Saw from Watford. Excuse me. And he did have a chance. Van Dijk headed it away in the first half, but he can cause problems. Definitely.
And to be fair, the Dutch keeper made 3 good saves. 2 of them going to his left to the near post. To deny Senegal a goal. And if one of those would have creeped in, who knows what would have happened? Because as you know, watching the African Nation Cup, once one of those teams get up, all of a sudden they seem to just keep dancing and dancing and dancing, and that confidence just grows. So, I don't think Senegal was out of it. I just think, a better days are coming for them. I'm not sure if it's in this World Cup, but better days are coming for them.
Yeah, I agree. I still think they'll progress, if I'm honest.
Right. Okay. All right. And then the
second goal, again, the goal. We caught him on a counter-attack late. Right. I don't know if you've noticed, but they're adding a lot of injury time during this World Cup.
Like I said, 9 minutes of injury time. That was when the second goal was scored, and then in the I think the England game had something like 13.
Yeah, the first, but the goalkeeper got hurt. Remember, so that took
a bunch. That took some time.
I haven't seen anything under like 6. And maybe in the Wales game this afternoon, it wasn't that much, but I don't know. I see some big injury times.
Right. And you mentioned that Wales game, a late penalty from Gareth Bale rescued a point for Wales against the United States. United States, one of the youngest teams in the World Cup. They came up with a lot of energy. They were running off the ball well. They were set up. Even when they didn't have the ball, they all got behind it, shaped up, they were prepared for this game.
Oh yeah, 100%. We spoke about it last night. I didn't expect anything different. The first half belonged to the United States. If we're honest, I thought this was the old tale of two halves. Each team had a half to dominate, and as you said, the USA came out flying. A couple guys in the group chat were saying, this might be the best bowl we're seeing so far.
Right.
I didn't think it would last. I figured Wales would probably get a good rollicking in the dressing room at halftime, and they may have, but they came out and played a lot better. And I think some of that youthful exuberance cost the United States, because the tackle that led to the penalty was, I want to say daft, but that might be a little rude.
Right.
It was you tackle them from behind, trying to win a bowl that you probably don't need to win, shouldn't try to win, give away and Gareth Bale made.
Bale was heading away from goal. If his first touch, if he'd have been allowed to get a touch, there's no way he'd have been able to turn on him. So you just guard him, you just stand him up and guard him out of the box, force him to pass the ball back. But to tackle there, and the thing was, it wasn't like you couldn't say to anybody, "I didn't see him," because he was standing right in front of you.
Yeah, it was almost like an NBA player. You had him posted up, let him get the ball. Not gonna hurt you with back to go.
No,
and he made that ball was rifled in the net.
Sure.
And the Welsh fans enjoyed that because they went absolutely. I think a 1-1 was fair.
Right. Right.
At least
I think both teams would have walked off the field feeling as if, okay, our World Cup has started now. Let's move on. Yeah.
I think they both know that there's a bigger test coming, and there's also a team that we should beat coming. So it might come down to goal difference. Is that how they do the World Cup, goal difference?
Yes, they do. Do. So, especially in the group stage, yes.
Wasn't sure. But so it may come down.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's no, it will come down to that last game. Especially, when you gotta play that final one. If you're playing the early game, you're gonna have to kind of attack if you don't want to get caught in that. If your goal difference is behind, you're gonna have to go out and attack, kind of thing. So we'll see. It's going to be very interesting. Well,
tomorrow.
Looking ahead at tomorrow.
Bright and early.
6 a.m. it is.
And
Argentina and Saudi Arabia. Just excuse me. Just looking at these two, they've played twice before. Back in 1988, Argentina and Saudi Arabia drew in the Bicentennial Gold Cup on July 6th, and then 10 days later, Argentina defeated Saudi Arabia in the same competition 2-0. That's the only times that these two teams have played.
Really?
But the World Cup is a little different this time around, and we're talking a number of years later.
Yeah, and Argentina, probably then and now, had one of the best players in the world. So
yes.
I do think this is going to be a case similar to England and Iran, where team's going to look to attack and one team's probably not.
Right.
I do remember Saudi Arabia. I don't know if they got a victory. It was in one of the World Cups, maybe in '94. They did well, but I don't think tomorrow's going to be one of those days where we say, you know what, Saudi Arabia came and sprung a surprise.
Who knows? They can hold them out and get one of those counterattacks.
Yeah, that being said, Argentina will respect them.
Sure.
But I think the South American flair is going to come out tomorrow morning, where you'll see one. I just hope they don't have to break down, the low block with 10, 11 behind. Unfortunately, it's what I see. It's probably Saudi Arabia's best chance.
Right.
But you get a lot of people up for it because a lot of Argentina fans.
Oh, definitely. On design at 6. They'll be up at 5:30 getting ready.
Yes, sir.
Gotta get ready to go to work the minute the game's over. To be in the job by the 9 o'clock start And that 9 o'clock game, as we all know, it is Denmark and Tunisia. Denmark and Tunisia. Now, these two teams fully have only met once in an international friendly, and that was back 20 years ago, May 26, 2002, and Denmark defeated Tunisia 2-1. So another interesting matchup. I mean, if you look at these two teams, Denmark, over the years, they've always proved to be a tough team. They haven't really won much, but they always seem to be able to put up a good performance every time they turn out.
Yeah, the only tournament they've won, they actually didn't qualify for. They were invited as a guest. So
Yes.
maybe that's the route they should take. And yeah, I totally agree with you. Not necessarily one of the flashier sides, but definitely one of the harder outs. They're one of the European countries that play as a team. As we all know, or as football fans all know, and some people that just follow tournaments would know, is Eriksen playing for them. The last major tournament, we know what happened, and it's amazing to see that he's back playing. He's in the World Cup squad, and I just watched the game for that, because that's an amazing story.
What a remarkable story!
Tunisia, they don't necessarily sit back. Watch them play, but they'll go and play.
Right.
So it'll be a pretty good game to watch,
Sure, definitely. To be almost declared dead on the field to be playing in the World Cup. That's a remarkable story, as you've already said. I mean, wow, what an opportunity for him and his family, to experience this. And I'm glad that he's got this opportunity, because we know of many other players who haven't. So
the Tunisians actually have I don't know if you follow Manchester United too much. This little kid Hannibal, I forget his last name, but he plays for Tunisia. So they do have some talent, some guys that you probably haven't heard of, but they know how to play football.
Sure. And they'll be on stage tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. The midday game. It's the Mexicans versus Poland. I think this one will be an interesting matchup, because in our region, we all know Mexico love to be physical. And we know the Polish love to be physical. This one here should be very entertaining. Both teams have skillful players. I am not sure how these Polish players will adapt to the conditions. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out.
Yeah, definitely. Poland do have a very, very good number 9 that Mexico will have to worry about. As we all know, Lewandowski needs no invitation to score.
No.
He will score even if you don't invite him to. I was talking earlier with somebody who said, why is he not mentioned with possible Golden Boot winners? And my response was, one, he's never really scored boatloads at a major tournament, but also Poland don't hang around into the later stages, which is usually what you need to win a Golden Boot. You need to be in those later stages, unless you are in a very weak group and you batter somebody 6 or 7-0 and get 4. Right. But this is not an easy group. This is this one's going to be a little tough. They got Mexico, and then this is the Argentina group.
Right.
The Saudi Arabia game might be one that you look to score some goals, but Mexico are no pushovers, as we know.
They play well organized.
They play a very good style of football. Mexico have always been difficult to beat. I always selfishly wish that we had faced their best team in Mexico.
Right.
Went down there. I wanted to see, obviously here, I think we were a little naive, but Lili still not made or beat Chucky. So and we scored.
Yes. Yes.
So this one could be good, though. I just hope they don't play cagey. I hope they come
Right.
out and try and play football.
Right. But since 2005, these two teams have played 3 times. In 2005, it was a 1-1 draw in an international friendly. 2011, another 1-1 draw. And then 2017, Mexico came out with a 1-0 win. So we know Poland's going to really be looking to, make amends for that and then try to turn that around.
Yeah, I could definitely see this game being much like the Holland-Senegal game. Two teams that feel they probably stand a very good chance of going through. Probably won't want to lose. So, like I said earlier, I just hope they don't play to not lose.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I mean.
Yes.
Because it's definitely a game that could give us some great highlights.
Sure. And then the final match tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. It is the defending champions France taking on Australia. I'm not too sure about this one. I think it's going to set up the same way. Australia will want to try to sit back and be as technical as possible at the back and allow France to come forward and try to get things going behind them, because I mean, that's probably one of your only real chances to even create something. We know France is a well-oiled machine, even without the players that they'll be missing. The Benzemas, the Pogbas, and all that. But when you look at the rest of that squad, when they're together and they're clicking on all cylinders, mate, it is very tough to shut them down.
Oh yeah, very fun, very hard to find in that France side players that haven't won at the highest club level, let alone the guys that have been around for the last World Cup victory. Right. With no Benzema, you would expect to see Giroud, more of Giroud.
Right.
And in the last World Cup, Giroud, Mbappe, and Griezmann, they worked pretty well together. So, they know each other. I'm very interested as far as France is concerned. One, to see the center midfield pairing, which we expect to be the two Madrid boys in Camavinga and Tchouameni.
Right.
And the center backs, the young boy from Liverpool went from not being called up to possibly starting.
Yeah.
So it just shows the world can change.
Yeah.
I actually think it's a blessing for France because I'm not a huge Kimpembe fan.
Right.
I believe, besides being left-footed, that he's very good. So I think that Konate and I assume Upamecano would be their pairing. And I'm a little shaky on Lloris.
Oh, okay.
I do think it was time, as Holland did. I don't know if you knew. I know I always go back to the Dutch, but I don't know if you knew, but the guy today that was his first start for Holland. So,
okay.
France definitely should have tried to inject some new blood.
Right.
They haven't, so it's Lloris. He is the captain. Now, Australia, I agree with you. They're probably going to sit in. They're not what they used to be when they had Viduka and Kuhl.
Right.
So they'll probably sit in, try and nick one. France should win this one, though.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, these two teams played in the last World Cup, with France winning 2-1. But Australia was a different outfit then, totally different outfit. So
France, they don't have history on their side though, because the holders usually struggle.
Right.
I say usually because obviously some holders have gone on to make finals, but especially France when they won the '98 World Cup, the 2002 was an absolute disaster.
Yes.
So I think they might be trying to shake that one off too.
Sure.
Don't do that twice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even more football tomorrow. First day we have 1 match. Day 2 we have 3 matches. Day 3 we have 4 matches. How many goals do you think it will be for tomorrow's entertainment?
I'm gonna say Total in all 4 matches, 12 goals.
We had 12 today.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 12 again.
Okay. You're thinking that Mexico Poland will be tight?
I do. I
Yeah,
think Denmark and Tunisia could be tight.
right. And then
And
the other,
when I say tight, I don't mean high scoring. You know, maybe a draw, maybe a 2-1, 2-0. But I don't think there'll be a lot of goals. Argentina, I do think, will find the net. And France and Australia could produce some goals. I do feel France will win that one.
right.
But Australia could nick one. You never know. It's
I mean,
not.
if you look at today, Iran scored 2 on England. So, you
There you
know,
go.
if they put away a chance or two, hey, it's a game on.
And as I just said, the French backline hasn't played together, so
Right. So
never. Looking forward to it though. 4
each
matches,
shall see.
days.
Yeah. Well, we'll be back tomorrow at
Yes,
8
sir.
p.m. with another edition of the World Cup 2022 Day 3 action. Fully and I will be here bringing you the results from the day's play, and then we'll be looking forward to Day 4 matches. How interesting will they be? Because now we've had the completion of Group A, and today we had Group B in
Group A.
action.
First game,
So tomorrow it's football on. Fully, see you tomorrow, brother.
yes, sir.
You got through today. You're all right.
I'm good.
Got your points. Have a good night.